When you hear the phrase Type R, what comes to mind? Civic? NSX? Integra? No matter which model you think of, they all say one thing: Honda race spec. To understand the roots of this red racing badge, we need to go back to Honda's early Formula One days, when the RA272 won Honda its first Formula One Grand Prix in 1965. Driven by American Richie Ginther, the white race car led the pack from flag to flag on the Mexican circuit that day. That same white would typically show up as an option for every Type R, creating the iconic combination of Championship White with a red Type R badge. 1965 was the year that hurtled Honda into competitive performance manufacturing. It was also the era in which they released their first sports cars, the S500, S600, and S800. But it wouldn't be until 1992, with the NSX, that the racing heritage would be brought front and center. Enter Shigeru Yuhara, who joined Honda in 1971. He led the midship research project that became the NSX and was involved in all subsequent sports car development until he retired. Oh, and he was close friends with Senna, too. Not only did Yuhara guide the development of the NSX, but he was the driving force behind the first ever Type R, which had one goal: give drivers a better sports driving experience. In a press release on honda.co.jp, Yuhara stated that the enthusiasm for the development of the Type R erupted with a passion, as if challenging an unexplored mountaintop. As a road car, the role of the Type R is to provide drivers who love sports driving with ultimate speed and fun to drive. The first Type R was badged on the JDM NSX from 1992 to 1995. According to HondaNews.com, just 500 were sold. The supercar suspension was retuned to be even more aggressive, and weight was reduced by more than 200 pounds through the removal of sound deadening, power windows, air conditioning, and the audio system. The 2002 JDM NSX-R, of which only 140 were produced, yes, only for the Japanese market, took things even further. According to Yuhara, the aim of the development of the Type R this time is to use new aerodynamic technology to achieve a high level of stability and controllability that is different from the past. We put a lot of time and passion into it, and just by changing the angle of the spoiler, the diameter of the stabilizer, and the hardness of the suspension, we've refined the purity and balance of a sports car to such an extent that it's no longer just a Type R. It is a car that brings people closer to the car, allows them to enjoy a rich dialogue, and brings out overwhelming speed based on a strong sense of trust. That 2002 model contained a larger 3.2-liter V6 and some downforce increasing modifications to the hood and wing. In 2005, the NSX-R GT was built, but there were only 5, and they were all presented in Championship White, which makes sense. The GT was made specially as a homologation model to be used in competition. From 1995 to 2001, the Type R badge spread to the Integra, where a hand-built engine, a revised intake system, upgraded suspension, and bracing, and, of course, weight reduction, brought that racetrack feel to the street car. This Honda Integra was the first Type R to make it to the United States. According to Sam Smith of Haggerty's Smithology column, Yuhara once told him that he wanted his work to feel a certain way. In the case of the 1997 to 2001 Honda/Acura Integra Type R, he said he wanted the car to feel as if it were about to boil over, so you would feel alive. In 1997, an Acura-branded Integra Type R came to the US. From 2002 to 2006, the Integra Type R reverted back to a JDM-only vehicle. Also in 1997, the first Civic Type Rs were produced, and, you guessed it, they were only in Japan. This production set, which ran until 1999, included a helical LSD, a seam-welded chassis, and weight reduction measures. Similar race spec enhancements followed throughout each generation, debuting in Europe for the 2001 to 2005 version, coming back together to gain a turbocharger in 2015 to 2017, and finally making it to the US for the 2017 to 2021 model years. According to HondaNews.com, in 2017, Civic Type R claimed the front-wheel drive track record at the Nürburgring with a lap time of 7:43.8, shattering the previous record by 7 seconds. And now, the 2023 Civic Type R is getting lots of attention. We'd be failing if we skipped the Accord. Though it was only ever graced with the badge of Type R for Japanese and European models, it went through 3 generations. All of these cars were inspired by the RA272, which was, fittingly, inducted into the Japanese Automobile Hall of Fame in 2020. Though Indy 500 winner Dario Franchitti got to drive the RA272 in 2011, if you ever want to experience that ride, you'll have to unlock it in Gran Turismo 7 or the Formula One Championship Edition video games. Or simply dream. Now, when you hear Type R, you have plenty to think about. Thanks for watching.